Sugar is everywhere. Morning cereals, fruit drinks, candies, baked goods, even foods marketed as healthy. It delivers quick energy, stimulates the pleasure centers in children's developing brain, and it can momentarily calm crackiness or discomfort. For many parents, a sweet treat is an easy tool to reward good behavior or pacify a fussy toddler. Yet beneath this innocent facade lies a complex interplay of biology and habit that raises an important question. Is sugar a harmless delight or a covert toxin in our children's diets? Once ingested, simple sugar like a fructose and a glucose are rapidly absorbed, causing blood sugar levels to spike. The pancreas responds with a surge of insulin, shutting glucose into cells, but also prompting fat storage when energy needs are met. Over time, repeated insulin surges can lead to insulin resistance, forcing the body to secrete over more insulin to maintain normal blood sugar. This metabolic roller coaster can predispose children to weight gain and eventually type 2 diabetes, a disease once rare in the youth, but now increasingly diagnosed in pediatric clinics. Sugar-sweetened beverages are the single largest source of added sugars in children's diets and the top contributor to excessive caloric intake. A systemic review found that high consumption of SSBs is directly associated with the weight gain, overweight, and obesity in children and adolescents. Furthermore, a meta-analysis concluded that reducing SSB intake leads to significant decreases in the weight gain and adiposity in youth, underscoring the compelling evidence that cutting back on the sugar drinks can lower obesity risk. Many parents swear that sugar makes their children hyperactive or irritable. However, a meta-analysis of controlled trials concluded that sugar doesn't significantly affect behavior or cognitive performance in the most children. The belief in the sugar highs may stem more from parental expectation than biological effect, although subtle individual differences cannot be entirely ruled out. Beyond metabolic and cognitive concerns, sugar is the prime culprit in early childhood caries. Frequent exposure to fermentable sugars feeds other bacteria that produce acids, eroding enamel and causing painful cavities. Severe dental decay can lead to infections, difficulties with eating and speaking, and a costly respiratory treatment that burden families and the healthcare systems. Many parents swear that sugar makes their children hyperactive or irritable. However, a meta-analysis of controlled trials concluded that sugar doesn't significantly affect behavior or cognitive performance in the most children. The belief in the sugar highs may stem more from parental expectation than biological effect, although subtle individual differences cannot be entirely ruled out. Beyond metabolic and cognitive concerns, sugar is the prime culprit in early childhood caries. Frequent exposure to fermentable sugars feeds other bacteria that produce acids, eroding enamel and causing painful cavities. Severe dental decay can lead to infections, difficulties with eating and speaking, and a costly respiratory treatment that burden families and the healthcare systems. Emerging research shows that high sugar intake disrupts the delicate balance of gut bacteria, decreasing beneficial species like bifidobacterium and promoting harmful strains such as Clostridium difficile. This dysbiosis impairs short-chain fatty acid production, weakening the gut barrier and fueling low-grade systemic inflammation linked to obesity and insulin resistance. Moreover, insulin-induced microbial shifts can alter hunger hormones, ghrelin and leptin, exacerbating cravings and overeating in children whose microbiomes are still developing. This change may have lifelong consequences for metabolic health. Addressing sugar's impact on a gut ecology is thus critical for both immediate relief and long-term disease prevention. Sugar activates the brain's reward pathways in ways reminiscent of addictive substances. Its sweet taste triggers dopamine release, reinforcing performance for sugary foods and creating habitual consumption patterns. Unlike solid foods that promote satiety, sugar-sweetened liquids don't trigger the same fullness cues, make it easy for the children to consume large volumes without feeling full, perpetuating a cycle of overconsumption. Sugar hijacks the same reward pathways as addictive substances, driving children to seek ever greater sweetness. But awareness of this brain chemistry offers hope. We can reprogram these circuits. Gradual reduction of added sugars, paired with a positive reinforcement for healthier snacks, helps to establish balanced dopamine signaling. Incorporating naturally sweet whole foods, like berries or yogurt, provides satisfaction without spikes, coupled with consistent mealtime routines and supportive praise. These tactics empower children to break free from sugar's grip and build enduring taste performances for nourishing foods. Sugar is not an outright poison. Small amounts of natural sugars, especially in whole fruits, are a part of a balanced diet. But the modern food environment inundates children with the hidden sugars that drive metabolic dysfunction, dental decay, and possibly cognitive setbacks. By understanding sugar's true impact and adopting evidence-based strategies, we can harness its sweet benefits without succumbing to its hidden harms. The next generation deserves a diet that feels gross and alerting, not one that sets the stage for a chronic disease.